Hello, this is Aaron from AOK Games, and this is my entry for Skipping Lilies. Now, in Skipping Lilies, 2 to 4 players are picky frogs who are trying to make the best pond full of tasty dragonflies and mosquitoes and moths. And the way that you do that is you draft. You draft cards out of your hand and you place them down onto your pond, stopping when you get a 3x3 grid. Now, each round you're going to get less and less cards because you get to keep cards from round to round to develop a certain strategy. But you're going to score after every round based on the amount of points each thing is. And you actually can lose points as well. So you can be forced into putting something down onto your pond that loses you points. Now, the way that this works is you're going to have in the base version here, you're gonna have 6 different types of 6 different types of cards, 4 dragonflies and 2 non-dragonflies. Now, the multicolored dragonfly works best if it's in a corner because it scores extra bonus points for being in a corner, but it's also going to score 1 point for being for touching each blue and purple and 2 for touching each yellow. The blues score 1 for every blue present in your pond. So if you have 4 blues in your pond, you're going to get 4 points for every blue. The yellows are intriguing because they give you 1 point for every different type of dragonfly that you have. So there's only 4 in the game, so that the highest a yellow can be is 4, but that's still a good amount of points if you can get a yellow. And the yellows will give you extra if they're next to a multicolored. The purple score points for every blue and yellow in the ponds to your left and right. So when you're playing a 4-player game, you're kind of having to look at the player to your left and right. 3-player game, you're looking at everybody else. 2-player game doesn't matter as much. The moth scores 2 for every moth present in your pond. But the thing is, the moths are interesting because if the moths are next to the blue, I mean, keep in mind you're very picky frogs, then you actually lose points for your moth. And the mosquitoes score 4 points automatically, but they lose you 3 points if they're next to a purple. So the way this works is you're just going to get a hand of cards. You start with 9 because you're going to be putting out a 3x3 grid. You put them down, and they have to be touching when you put them down. So your first card essentially is just setting the area. You're all going to put it face down, then you're going to reveal. Okay, so this probably is going to end up being a corner. So you can look at everybody else's pond and determine, okay, maybe that's going to be in a corner. But this effectively could be here in a corner. It could be in the middle at the end. It could be at the top right. You don't have to set the direction when you start laying things down. But once you build out, and keep in mind touching, so sides touching or corners touching is legal in this game. Once you build it out, then you're going to get to a point where you're going to have a 3x3 pond. Okay, and I'm just putting out cards for the sake of putting out cards. This wouldn't be an ideal situation in a game, but once you've made a 3x3 pond or 3x3 grid, then you're going to score it. So you score every card individually, even if it's bad. Like right here, you have a mosquito next to a purple. You have another mosquito, a corner touching a purple, so you're actually going to lose points for both those mosquitoes. That wouldn't be a good idea in a regular game. But the way that this works is you score the pond, and then in the first round, you're going to keep 2 cards. Now, you're going to keep 2 cards that are different types and that are touching. So you can keep diagonal, you can keep side to side, you can keep up, down, and you have to keep them in that orientation. So just to make this easy, let's get rid of those. This is how your pond would start the next round, and then you get drafted 7 cards and would have to build out. Then say, once again, that you filled out your pond. I'm just going to show you the same one for the sake of example. You have to keep 4 cards going to the final round, but they have to be 3 different types of cards. So in this case, I could keep this block of 4 right here, all right? And then you would take those out, and you get drafted 5 cards for the final round. Now, here's the thing. At the end of the game, you're going to lose points if you have the most multicoloreds, but you're also going to gain points if you have the most moths and mosquitoes. So that's how the game is. It's very simple. It's very quick, about 15 to 20 minutes. You score after each round, and you keep cards in between. This is Skipping Lilies from ALK Games.